Let's talk about the structure of an Arduino program. In this lesson, I am using the servo sweep example program that comes preloaded with Arduino, and we'll be going through the various pieces of the program. Generally, for Arduino programs, at the top of the program would have some documentation. Usually, there'd be some description of what the program is and what it does, and some other information around who created the program and maybe a created and last modified date. Again, this is optional, but as you do your projects, it's generally helpful to have some documentation at the beginning of your program. Next comes include statements, and these are used to include any libraries that we may be using as part of our project. You may be using several different libraries and third-party libraries and add-ons as part of your project, and typically at the beginning is where we include those libraries so we can make calls to particular functions or utilize variables defined in those libraries later on. Next comes the actual declaration of variables or global variables that we'll be using. These are declared at the top of the program, and generally they can be used anywhere within our program. Next comes one of the most important functions that you'll see in any Arduino program. It's the setup function, and it's within the setup function, as the name implies, where we set up variables and we just prepare our program to begin execution. So if there is any sort of initial configuration or setup of values that we need to establish, that is done in the setup function. It's important to note that the setup function is run only once we power up our Arduino. Next comes the other function that you will see in every Arduino program. It's the loop function. Here is where the meat of our program lies, and this is where we will execute all our logic around, taking input readings, creating output readings, or driving motors, or whatever the logic of our project is. It typically resides within the loop function. And as the name implies, loop starts at the beginning, it runs towards the end, and then it loops again and starts and runs in a continuous fashion. So once there's power to the Arduino, this function loops continuously. So to summarize, for the structure of an Arduino program, at the beginning, typically you'll see some comments. That's followed by includes, where we include our libraries that we might be using. This is followed by variable declarations for those variables that we'll be using throughout our project. Then comes the setup function, where we initially set up those variables and prep our program to begin. And finally comes the loop function, where we have all the logic concerned with our project and the specific functionality we want to perform. And again, loop runs over and over again once there's power provided to the Arduino board, and the setup function runs only once. Now that you have that basic understanding, let's move on to our next lesson.